don't believe I should have to be nice to get somebody to give me something. If my product is good, no matter how I act, you will pay for it.
Are Jay-Z and Dame Dash really about to make peace after all these years? This could shake the whole game because there aren't many rap feuds that flip the entire industry like this one did. What makes it wild is that it wasn't just about music, it was two completely different hustles colliding head on. On one side, you've got Jay, the smooth, calm, billionaire mastermind who moves in silence while making power plays behind the scenes. And on the other side, Dame Dash, the loud, fearless, talk-his-mind boss who refuses to let anyone tell him what to do. Jay plays chess with the industry, closing major deals with quiet precision, while Dame built his name on raw independence and the idea of owning everything he touches. But to really understand this beef, you gotta rewind the clock. It all started back in 1995, when Jay was out there grinding, literally selling CDs from the trunk of his car, trying to get somebody, anybody, to believe in his sound. After getting turned down by a bunch of major labels, Jay linked up with his crew, Dame Dash and Kareem Biggs Burke, and they said, forget waiting on a label, we'll build our own. That's how Roc-A-Fella Records was born.
That shit is fucked up. But y'all stay trying to do that. Y'all should have called Dame Dash and said, you want the whole fucking thing to hear it? Keep the door open. I don't give a fuck. Y'all should have called Dame Dash, make sure I was privy to it, and make sure I was CC'd or whatever.
They locked in a distribution deal with Priority Records, and boom, 1996 came with Jay's debut, Reasonable Doubt. That album changed everything. Over the next few years, Roc-A-Fella went from underground to unstoppable, with Jay working alongside the biggest producers in the game, Swizz Beatz, Timbaland, the 45 King, and Jermaine Dupri. The rise was fast, the energy was raw, and nobody saw the storm that was coming next. By the year 2000, Jay-Z decided it was time to flip the script and evolve his sound. He brought in a new generation of hitmakers, Kanye West, Bink, the Neptunes, and Just Blaze, to craft a fresh wave of anthems that would take him to another level. Even though Jay was still the face of Roc-A-Fella, he and Dame were expanding their empire, signing major new talent like Cameron, Freeway, and a group of hungry Philly rappers who would later form State Property. The label was booming, but the energy behind the scenes was starting to shift. By 2002, whispers about tension between Jay and Dame started spreading fast. The spark? Dame allegedly tried to make Cameron the vice president of Roc-A-Fella while Jay was away on vacation. When Jay got wind of it, insiders said he wasn't feeling it at all. Both sides tried to downplay the rumors, but people close to the camp claimed Jay thought Dame was getting too loud in the spotlight, while Dame felt Jay was becoming too distant, too corporate. Things were definitely changing. Even Beanie Siegel, one of Roc-A-Fella's earliest stars, broke it down back then, showing just how deep that divide was getting. By 2004, talks about Roc-A-Fella breaking up were everywhere, and Dame finally spoke out in an interview with MTV saying, all that is paperwork, we'll never break up. It's Roc-A-Fella for life. I would never pass the torch or leave any of my artists. I look at them like family, like my children. Who else would run Roc-A-Fella but me? He doubled down, saying the goal of business was to build, sell, and rebuild. But the Roc, that was his soul. But Jay, he had a whole different mindset. Just 6 months later, he shocked the industry when he was officially named president and CEO of Def Jam Records.
With Lior, because I think he's a fake CEO, and I think he's fronting on my culture, but he can't front on anybody else. And I'm calling him out publicly, and I want him to stop trying to rape my culture, go make some money with some other people. Never had a beef with Jay, always with Lior and his whole crew. He's the one that ruined Roc-A-Fella. I'm just talking about me having to beef with Lior Cohen. See? You see how it always transitions back to Jay? Lior Cohen. That's my beef. Pause. Not Jay.
That move forced a major shakeup. Jay, Dame, and Biggs ended up selling their remaining shares of Roc-A-Fella to the Island Def Jam Music Group. The empire they built together was never the same again. Once Jay took over as president, everything changed. He ended up in full control of both Roc-A-Fella and Def Jam, which meant he now held the keys to the entire empire, including all the Roc-A-Fella masters. Dame Dash and Biggs were basically forced out of the driver's seat, and that's when the real cracks in their brotherhood showed. But here's the wild part. Jay later told XXL that he actually tried to make things right. He said he was willing to walk away from everything if they just let him keep the rights to Reasonable Doubt. According to Jay, I told them, let me get Reasonable Doubt, and I'll give up my masters, I'll give up Roc-A-Fella, I'll even give up being president and CEO of Def Jam, everything. Just let me hold on to my baby. 10 years from now, I just want to look back and know I kept something real. He said he thought that was a fair deal. especially since he was the one being offered everything on the table. But when Dame and Biggs turned it down, Jay said he had no choice but to move forward. "I'll let the people decide what they would have done," he told XXL. "I don't got nothing negative to say about Dame or Biggs. We all bosses, but there's only one presidential suite. And if we're all in a hotel, somebody's got to move to another one." That line alone said it all. On the flip side, Dame and Biggs told XXL they were disappointed that Jay kept the Roc-A-Fella name. They claimed he used it as a bargaining chip to gain full control of the Reasonable Doubt Masters, the first and most iconic album they ever dropped before partnering with Def Jam. And to really show just how heated things got,
the camera, he fell victim to the camera. You know, you're liable to say anything. You could be anybody. Or I think if Dame would have played the role as Kareem Burks.
There's a clip floating around of Dame completely snapping on Def Jam execs for meeting with Jay behind his back. The tension was real, and the fallout was far from over. After Jay officially took control and the Roc-A-Fella split became final, Dame Dash and Biggs moved on to build their own lanes. Each artist on the roster had to make a choice, either roll with Jay or follow Dame into the next chapter. That decision alone split the Roc family right down the middle. Cameron and the Diplomats were the first to side with Dame, joining his new label, Dash Music Group. But that move came with drama. Cameron started taking public shots at Jay, claiming Jay blocked him from becoming vice president of Roc-A-Fella before the split. Things got even crazier in 2005 when Cameron was shot during an attempted carjacking, and he later said the shooter threw up the Roc's diamond hand sign right before firing. The streets went wild with speculation after that one. That same year, Cam dropped a diss record titled "You Gotta Love It," where he completely went off on Jay. He called Jay out line by line, saying, "First, you stole Roc-A-Fella from Dame. Second, you stole Kanye from Dame. Third, you stole Roc-A-Wear from Dame. Fourth, I seen him throw that diamond up before them shots was fired." It was one of the boldest shots ever taken at Jay, and it poured gasoline on an already burning situation. But Dame later tried to clear things up, saying his real problem wasn't directly with Jay, but with the corporate figures in the background pulling strings. In a 2014 interview with Vlad TV, Dame called out former Def Jam boss Lear Cohen by name, accusing him of being a culture vulture and profiting off hip-hop while dividing the people who built it. He said execs like Cohen were the ones instigating rap beefs for profit and were the real reason Roc-A-Fella fell apart. The betrayal he felt clearly never left his heart. Some people say the real reason Roc-A-Fella fell apart had nothing to do with business. It was way more personal. There's a long-standing rumor that part of what tore things down was Jay-Z's connection to R. Kelly. Back in 1994, R. Kelly allegedly married Aaliyah when she was still underage. He was 27 and she was just 15. Years later, Aaliyah started dating Dame Dash, and Dame said she was deeply traumatized from her time with Kelly. He said she could barely talk about it, only saying one chilling thing, that Kelly was a bad man. Then came the moment that made Dame furious. Just months after Aaliyah's tragic death in 2001, Jay-Z teamed up with R. Kelly to release their joint album, The Best of Both Worlds. Dame was completely against the idea, claiming Jay knew about Kelly's dark reputation and still decided to work with him. In a 2019 interview on Hip Hop Motivation, Dame spoke with raw emotion about how that move made him feel betrayed, like loyalty didn't mean anything anymore. He said the pain from losing Aaliyah and watching Jay link with Kelly was something he'd never get over. But that's not the only theory people whisper about. According to former Roc-A-Fella producer Choke No Joke, there was also drama involving Beyonce. He claimed Jay and Dame fell out because Dame allegedly tried to shoot his shot at her back in the day. There was a point at Roc-A-Fella when Dame wasn't even allowed around Beyonce, Choke said. I mean, nothing happened like kissing or texting or anything like that, but did he try to holler? Yeah. He compared it to how Dame once moved toward Aaliyah and said everyone in the office knew, because he was a creep. Whether true or not, those rumors added another wild twist to the Roc-A-Fella saga. Between the personal betrayals, tragic losses, and business tension, it's no wonder that Empire couldn't hold together forever. Beyonce clearly wasn't entertaining any of that drama. She wasn't going for it at all. Some people even said Aaliyah might have been drawn in by Dame because he kept their relationship low-key, but Beyonce wasn't built like that. Still, Jay never once hinted that his fallout with Dame had anything to do with personal issues. For him, it always seemed like it was strictly business. In his July 2013 interview with Hot 97's Angie Martinez, Jay opened up about where things stood. He said that no matter how wild things got between them, he still had love for Dame. That shocked a lot of fans who thought they'd never even speak on each other again. Not long after that interview, people actually saw a glimpse of hope. Jay and Dame reunited at a birthday party in New York City. A photo from the event showed them standing together for the first time in years, and Dame even posted the moment on Instagram. Fans thought the beef might finally be dead, but by 2019, that peace didn't last long. Dame was back in interviews throwing shots at Jay, accusing him of lacking morals and saying he'd sold out his principles for corporate moves. The tension was clearly still simmering beneath the surface. Then in June 2021, the situation exploded again. News broke that Jay was suing Dame Dash for allegedly trying to sell Jay's debut album, Reasonable Doubt, as an NFT. Dame didn't back down. He clapped right back with a countersuit, claiming Jay had illegally taken control of the album's streaming rights for himself. It turned into a full-blown legal war between two former brothers in arms. But even with all that heat, Jay kept it classy. He never went public with any disrespect. In fact, during his 2021 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction speech, Jay shocked everyone by giving Dame a respectful shout-out, recognizing the role he played in building Roc-A-Fella from the ground up. When Dame heard it, he told Page Six it caught him off guard, but in a good way. "It was beautiful," Dame said. "I'm glad he said it. For the culture, we need to squash everything. So hopefully if that was an olive branch, I'll spin one back." And just a few months later, on March 16th, 2022, reports surfaced that Jay and Dame were finally in settlement talks over their lawsuits, with Jay's attorney, Alex Spiro, confirming the discussions. For the first time in 2 decades, peace between these two might actually be on the table. During a federal court hearing, Jay-Z's attorney confirmed that both sides were supposedly meeting and conferring to see if they could finally reach a settlement to end the long-running Roc-A-Fella feud. For a moment, it looked like Jay and Dame were about to bury the hatchet once and for all. Fans everywhere were ready to celebrate peace between two legends who built an empire together. But then, boom! Dame Dash shut all that down fast. Just days after the news broke, Dame hopped on Instagram and made it crystal clear he wasn't going for the narrative being pushed in the media. "Please don't believe this hype," he wrote. "We are nowhere near a settlement." He claimed the accusations against him were false and said Jay's team still had to prove their case. Then Dame doubled down, saying he had every right to sell his share whenever he wanted. "Ask the judge," he added boldly. Dame didn't stop there either. He took it even more personal, calling out both Jay and Biggs directly, telling them to handle things the way they used to back in the day, off the record and face to face. "If you want to settle this, holler at me," he said. "We used to hustle together. Court is corny. Let's talk like men. For the future, I dare y'all to respond. Do it for the culture." That message set the internet on fire. Some fans sided with Jay for staying silent and professional, while others backed Dame for keeping it real and refusing to bow down. No matter how you see it, one thing's for sure: the bond that once built Roc-A-Fella is still tangled in pride, pain, and unfinished business. At this point, the whole world's watching to see if Jay-Z and Dame Dash will ever truly sit down and make peace. After everything they built together, the success, the legacy, the money, and the fallout, it's like watching two kings standing on opposite sides of the same throne. The energy between them feels complicated, but there's no denying the history they share runs deep. Jay's been moving like the quiet giant, focused on business, art, and legacy, while Dame's still loud with passion, defending what he helped create. They both changed the game forever, and even through all the tension, there's still a weird kind of respect under the surface. You can feel it. Fans keep saying if these two could ever link up again, even just once, it would shake the whole culture to its core. Imagine a reunion. Jay, Dame, maybe even Biggs, all in the same room again after decades apart. That would be history in the making. But until that day comes, all we can do is watch the story unfold. Whether they rebuild or keep their distance, Roc-A-Fella's legacy will always stand as one of the greatest movements hip-hop ever saw. From selling CDs out the trunk to creating billion-dollar empires, their journey shows what happens when ambition meets vision and ego gets in the way. Now it's your turn. Jump in those comments and let me know what you think. Do you believe Jay and Dame will ever squash their beef for real? Or has too much damage been done for them to circle back? Hit that like button, share this story, and don't forget to subscribe to FameWhisp for more breakdowns just like this. See you in the next one.